All right, is that working? Okay, I think it's recording. Okay, welcome everybody to our team call. I cannot believe this is our last team call of November, but I hope everybody had an amazing Thanksgiving. Let's just do something for fun in the chat box. Drop like your favorite moment over the Thanksgiving holiday.
For 12.
Yes, leftovers. We don't ever get leftovers because we like go other places. So I like when people talk about like Thanksgiving leftovers, ours is literally just like the meal and then we don't have any leftovers. So I'm very honestly kind of jealous. That's awesome. Hanging out with
I can't think with you hovering over. You need to go your way, please.
prayer walks. Being with family. Yes, absolutely. I love it. I don't know about the weather there. Oh, Lauren said it. Yeah, the weather was amazing here on Thanksgiving. So it was perfect for like being outside and running around after eating, and perfect for the kids and walks and all the fun things. Yes, you're not that far from me. So we have like the same weather. Well, awesome. Well, I'm so glad you guys had an amazing Thanksgiving. I am so grateful for you guys. If you didn't watch my video in the team page, go watch it, get your pop-up points. But I'm seriously so grateful for y'all in this team. And just, I feel like the Lord just keeps reminding me, like, I don't know, just how incredible this community is. And so I'm grateful for y'all and just all that you do to show up and be here. Like even on these things like team calls, I know it's not always like easy to be on live, especially, but there's just so much power in us all coming together and sharpening one another. And it's really powerful. And we have so many amazing things happening. So one thing I wanted to talk about really quickly, because I just got this in the mail and I wanted to show it to you guys, and then we're going to dive in and I'm going to introduce Kirby to y'all, and she's going to dive into her meat and the goodness of tonight's call. But I wanted to remind you guys all of the new Total Solution Pack that we have coming in December. It's going to be going live on, I think it's December 3rd. I don't have the date right in front of me, but I'm pretty sure that's right. So this is the Shake and Hustle Total Solution Pack that we're going to be getting. They actually sent me one in the mail. So when you're an elite team, you get everything ahead of time just to try. Like they just send it to you for free, and it's really cool. And they usually like send you a letter with a little bit about it. So they sent me one of the packages in the mail, and I just got it in the mail, I think yesterday. But this is the 20 serving bag of Shakeology. I kind of want to grab a regular bag and just show y'all the size difference. So obviously this one has got some gone out of it, but you guys can kind of see the difference there. It's just a tad bit smaller. So not a huge difference. And then the box of Energize comes this size. So it's also got the 20 servings. So this is the fruit punch. But yeah, and I love how it just says, and I know it already says it on there, but they just make it really simple, like Energize pre-workout. So that way people are really, they can just see what they're getting. And then obviously the Shakeology bag is exactly the same, just a 20 serving bag. So I think this is really amazing. I'm so excited about this. I think it's a great way to just get people like, you know, Monday through Friday, you know, 5 days a week, just taking their shake and really seeing the benefits of it. It's also a great way for us to like keep it a little bit cheaper and then get those add-ons. Like things like collagen. I was talking to a friend today, actually, I saw her at church, and from the back, I like noticed that her hair had gotten really long. And I was like, is that her? Is that like her sister? because she was sitting next to her husband. I was like, who is that next to him? And then I realized it was her. And I was like, your hair's gotten so long. And she's like, I've actually been taking that Beachbody collagen. I actually just ran out. But she's like, my hair is growing. My skin's gotten better. So just those little like testimonials of just our products really do work. And it was one of those moments, like she doesn't drink Shakeology. She doesn't drink Energize. She's literally just bought collagen. But it was one of those moments that was like, a good little reminder, like there's so many other ways we can serve people. They don't have to even be these, but that was just a little off topic. But getting people to add those things on, they're more likely to do that when they have a little bit of a cheaper package and they can really see like the benefits. And to be honest, these are the two things I use every day. Like there's a lot of other things that like if we run out of, it's like, okay, whatever, who cares, you know, but like these two things I have to have, specifically this one, but this one too. And so I feel like when you're talking about it, it comes from a more genuine place when it's the two things that you are super passionate about that are in a package. So, yeah, because in the past, for those of you who are new, like you could get a bag of Shakeology with your Total Solution Pack, or you could do Energize and Recover. We never had a package that like included these unless they added this on, but it would obviously make it more expensive. So it's great just to have this little combo pack. So any questions about that really quick? I just wanted to show that to y'all since I just got it. I just wanted you guys to see the packaging. Anything? Okay. Cool. Well, if you guys have any questions, obviously I'll be keeping you guys in the loop as soon as I find out more information. And I'm hoping to have package images in the next few days for you guys so that you can start talking to people about it. But I mean, it's going to be launching for us. A sure thing will be launching for us as coaches and for customers literally like end of the week, beginning of next week. So I will get those packages and everything over to you guys ASAP. Super excited. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and dive into tonight's call. I'm so pumped for this. I have my notebook right here because I know I'm going to take a gazillion notes. And I'm sure this will be a team call that we share with like a lot of people in the future. But Kirby, for those of you who do not know Kirby, she has been a coach, and I'm pulling all of this out of thin air because I don't have it typed up in front of me. So I probably am going to get some of the dates wrong. But she's been a coach for around 3 years. 3 years. There we go. Yep, I was right. And I'll never forget, like, I feel like one of the first times I really got to know Kirby super well was on our Diamond Retreat. And I adore her. I remember jumping on a call with her, the first call where she was interested in learning about coaching. I was driving back from, I think, visiting Michelle possibly, or Atlanta, one of the two things. And we were on a call. Oh, I think it was Amelia Island. Anyways, we were on a call, and I was driving through Atlanta, and I was like, Brian, I've got to have a call with this girl. We have been talking on Instagram for like 4 months about her becoming a coach. And she done Advocare before, and so had a background in nutrition and fitness. And so we hopped on the phone, and I just remember talking to her and being like, she is incredible. I really want her to be on our team. She would bring so much to the table, and just loved her heart for like really truly meshing fitness and nutrition and health with the Word of God and truth. And I knew that she would just bring so much wisdom to our team. And so I just remember being like, I really hope she signs up, but I don't know if she will, because she felt like a hard sell. Like she had a lot of deep questions. And I was like, I don't know if this girl's in. But it was kind of one of those things with people like that, where it's like, if they've got really good questions and they're in, like they're going to be in it. You know what I'm saying? They're not just going to be half in it. They're going to be truly in it. And so I just remember talking to her and just realizing like like we had so many of the same passions. And so I've always said that Kirby, like the one thing that I love about her, and I'm like very jealous about her, is that she is so good with words, and she's so eloquently, like when she says something, you're just like, I really wish I could have put it like that. You know, like that was so beautiful. And she's just so good with like her words and just so kind. And anyways, so I'm super pumped. Those things had really nothing to do about this, but I want you to know who she is as we head into tonight's call. But Kirby is one of our diamond leaders on the team. She has got an amazing crew of girls, coaches under her. And the reason I asked her to speak on tonight's call is that she has done such an amazing job, especially if you've been following her for a while on Instagram. Just like the process I've seen her go through over the past few years, like I wish I had as much grit in it as she does, but she's just so focused. She's taking her Instagram from like, you know, being a little bit more generic to truly having a niche, and just how she has dug into hormones and like how she's tied that in with her Beachbody business is really powerful. And that's kind of what we're talking about tonight. And why I asked her to be on the call, because I think sometimes, even for myself, it can sometimes be like, okay, I have this, my niche, and this thing that I feel really equipped to talk about and passionate and all the things to talk about, but I don't really know how that's going to mesh with what I do as a Beachbody coach. And so that's what she's going to dive into tonight. And so I'm going to hand it over to her. Also, real quick, Kirby is a diamond leader, like I mentioned. She's a mom of 3 kiddos. She just had a baby this year as well. He's about 6 months, 7 months old. And they did a big move out to California. So if you want to talk about like life transitions, and her daughter's in kindergarten too. So she's had like all these life transitions, but continue to show up so just like passionately and consistently in her business. So Curb, I'm going to throw it over to you.
Thank you so much. I love you guys. I'm excited to be here. Oh, am I frozen? No? Okay. Sorry. I saw maybe somebody else is frozen. I'm like, is it me or is it you? Thanks for the introduction. My love language is words of affirmations, and now I feel really loved. But I'm excited for this topic. I'm excited for this call. I've been thinking about it for a while, and I've been wanting to do this. So I hope that it's encouraging. I hope that it's helpful. I'm a super practical person. I feel like there is so much, value on our team when it comes to team calls. There's like the team calls that pump you up and hype you up, and then there's the calls that are gonna like give you practical tips. And so this is more of like a practical thing. I'm not really like a hype girl or anything, but I just hope this is really encouraging because it's helpful. Caroline, come back because I need to share my screen with. Come back. Maybe it'll let me, but it'll probably say, oh, can you see my screen? Yeah. Okay, sweet. I'm terrible with technology. And you'll notice my little presentation is not fancy. I don't graphic. I'm not very creative, so it's super simple, but this is just hopefully going to serve as a guide. So tonight I'm going to talk about connecting your niche to what you offer as a coach so that you can get unstuck, be authentic, find joy again, and truly grow a business that is thriving and that you love and that is rewarding and fulfilling. So first, let me just kind of share a little bit of a background on how finding a niche has helped me kind of get unstuck as a coach. So in 2021, I had been coaching for about 2 years. And at that time, I felt like I was kind of hitting a wall a little bit. I feel like your first year in coaching is kind of like, we always say commit for a year because that first year is really just figuring things out, kind of like trying things and kind of figuring out what works for you. And so my first year, I saw pretty good success for a new coach. Like I was hitting Success Club every month. I was a success starter. I hit Diamond and all of that. But I kind of came to this place in this kind of crossroads where I was like, I'm not growing, and I couldn't figure out why. And that was really frustrating to me because, I do have a team. And so as a leader, I was like, I have got to figure this, like, I have to figure out as a leader, I want to always go first. So if my team is struggling to hit Success Club, and so was I was like, well, if I'm going to help them, I need to figure out how to get unstuck myself so that I can help my team, if that makes sense. And so that's always been my goal, is like, I have got to figure this out so that I can teach it, so that I can help, because I was just kind of at this place. Maybe you can relate. Let me know in the chat if you can relate to this, but kind of going to do my invites and really not having anybody new to invite. Like I feel like I had either invited I feel like I was at this place where kind of my warm market ran out, and now I was like, what do I do now? And I was having a hard time finding new people and really getting to a place where I could like kind of get to that next level in my business. And so it's been a lot of like trial and error, kind of like digging deep and kind of learning like I was just got to this place where I was like, I've got to figure this out. So I had heard a lot about niche, and I kind of went back and forth on it. Like, is this the thing? Is this not the thing? Is this something I should pursue? And I figured, what do I have to lose? I feel like a lot of people, a lot of business mentors are talking about I don't know if you follow Brock Johnson on Instagram. He's always talking about your Instagram needs to be niche specific. Like you need to have a niche. And if not, you're not going to get anywhere. And so for me, I was like, well, I mean, maybe I do, but not really. I've always just been kind of like doing this thing and sharing my journey and just kind of like helping whoever would say yes because I was a new coach. And that's normal for a new coach. If you're a new coach here, that's totally normal. Your first couple months to a year, like you really are helping people that already kind of know, like, and trust you. But what I want to help you do is in the meantime, like while you are kind of getting your feet wet as a coach and kind of like helping people in your warm market to get to a place where you're also developing your cold market because you have a specific niche. And yeah, so for me, I really was like, okay, I've got to do something different because what I was currently doing didn't feel good to me anymore. It was like I was just kind of like checking off boxes on the tracker, like just inviting to invite. And that didn't feel good to me because it's like when you reach out and let me know if you relate with this, you're like, it feels so icky because it's like, I don't even really know if like what I have is like going to be for them or not. And you never know. But at the same time, it's like, it doesn't feel great, but it's just kind of like this cold message. And so I wanted to get to a place where I needed to back up. If I wasn't having anybody join, that means I didn't have many people to invite. If I'm not having new people to invite, you need to back up on the tracker. That means you need to find new people to connect with. And I was having a hard time finding new people to connect with. And so that means you need to back up and figure out, how are you going to create connections? How are you going to find new people? There's billions of people, on Instagram. And so kind of figuring out a strategy to where you could attract your person. And for me, I've just really had a hard time with this because maybe you can relate to this too. I feel like I'm super multi-passionate and I don't really fit in a box. It's like, especially when it comes to things that I like connect with people on. And I think that's a gift for sure, because I can relate with a lot of different people. I can relate with a lot of life circumstances. I've been a former athlete. I can relate with that. I'm a mom. I can relate with that. I've been a football coach's wife. I can relate with that kind of lifestyle. I've had a weight loss journey. I can relate with that. I've struggled with, um, you know, my hormone health. I can relate with that. I've had multiple surgeries. I can relate with people who have had injuries. It's like, and so I've always just struggled with like, who am I? And like, how do I even connect with people? How do I create content? What do I even share in reels? Because I feel like I was just all over the place. And so I started to experiment. It has taken some time to kind of figure out my groove. And by no means I'm an expert. This is something I'm still working on, but I hope tonight can just kind of be like starting this conversation as a team and kind of starting to get the ball rolling and kind of helping each other out in this way. Because the cool thing is like your niche can evolve over time because you evolve. You're not a business, you are a person. And that's probably been some of the biggest encouraging advice that I've received from Michelle Myers, actually, just kind of chatting with her about niche and like, is this something I should pursue? And she just reminded me like, at the end of the day, just remember you're a person. And so you're not a business, you're a person. And so like there's multiple facets to your story, and that's what makes you so unique. And I think that's what makes, finding your niche really beautiful, because you are unique and you do have something to offer, and there are people out there that are your people. You just have to find them. And so this has kind of taken some trial and error on my part, just kind of figuring out, okay, what's my story? What have I been through? What can I relate with people on? And how can I connect it to my health journey? So first, when we talk about, connecting what we offer to your niche, first, let's kind of briefly touch on niche. This is not going to be a full-on niche training, but I'm going to point you to some resources. If you want to dive deeper, you can. But pretty much the goal, let's see, your faces are covering my, how do I get it to the side? Okay, there we go. Then your number one step is to really become known for a niche that you own. And I feel like Caroline has done a really good job at this. For example, I started following her back when I was in college, and I was already doing another network marketing business, but she was very niche at the time. My friend actually had a friend who DM'd me her profile and said, you should follow her because I feel like you would enjoy her content. And so that's kind of like the goal, is to like have a niche so that you're known for something that people are like sending to their friends. Like, I know that you struggle with this, you should follow her. Because at the time I was really struggling with like my body image in late college, and I was diving deep into, I was trying to dive deep into, I was really growing in my faith at the time, but there were no resources like there are today on, like, there were no podcasts, there was no books that had been written on like fitness from a faith perspective, and I was craving that, and I loved that. I found Caroline, and that's when I started following her. I was not interested in Beachbody at the time, but over time, like, she was kind of solving a problem that I had, because I loved to hear what she had to say about what the Bible had to say about, health and fitness. And so her niche has kind of evolved over time as well. But for me, that's why I started following her. And then when I decided to join her, was because what she was offering was solving a problem that I had. So when I was following her already for, her niche content, but then her niche offer was an Own Your Morning Grace Camp. And at the time, that was exactly what I needed, because I was really struggling with waking up when my kids woke up. Like, I was waking up to them. My day was not starting off great. I was having trouble getting to the gym with 2 young kids. And I was like, this is exactly what I need. I need 20-minute workouts that I can do in the morning. And I need the accountability to get my butt up before my kids. And so what she was offering was exactly what I needed. Honestly, like, it was like a no-brainer to sign up, honestly, for like that part of it. Becoming a coach was like a little bit of, I had more questions about that piece, but I knew that, the boot camp was definitely for me. I knew it because I needed it. And so a niche is really a specialized segment of the market. So it's the difference between, there's an industry, the food industry or the restaurant industry, but then a niche within the industry is croissant or bakery, and then an even niche is like croissant, a bakery that offers really like the best croissants, and then even more niche is a bakery that offers gluten-free croissants. So it's like, if somebody knows that you eat gluten-free and you love croissants, they're going to be like, you need to go to this bakery. Or let's say a personal trainer who only offers morning classes. Like, that if you want to get pumped in the morning, you're going to go to her class. Or a personal trainer who does evening classes, maybe an evening yoga class. And you're like, if I want to get, wind down after work, before heading home, I'm going to go to that person's class. And so the goal is to be as specific as you can be in, one, what it is that you offer and who you want to help solve a problem. And the more different you will be, the more like, I guess, if you have like the courage to go there to be different, it will make a huge difference. And I have definitely found that for myself over like the last year or so. So to simplify, niche is solving a problem for a specific person. Let's see. Okay, for example, this is kind of wordy. I took this from actually the book that Beachbody just launched to your back office yesterday or a few days ago. But in that book, you can read this in there. But basically, this is just another example. So, like, let's take a realtor. So if somebody becomes a realtor, they think what they do needs to be the same as everybody else, because if one realtor is successful, well, let me just copy them and do what they do so I can be successful like them. But that's generic, right? And so in order to be successful as a realtor, you want to be known for a niche. So the authors of this little mini book are talking about their friend who decided to niche down on like a time kind of category. So instead of telling people like, I'm a realtor, I can help you sell your home, I'm going to be like everybody else, he said, I specialize in selling homes fast. So if you want to sell your home this weekend, like if you need to move now, I'm your guy. And so that was his niche. And he ended up becoming, you know, the #1 Century 21 realtor in the country because of that niche. So if like people, if you knew like you needed to sell your home fast, you're going to call him because you know that that's what he does. This is another example of a company that I'm affiliated with kind of on the side. It's called Frey Skincare. It's skincare for women who work out. And so that's super niche, right? There's tons of skincare out there. It's skincare for skin that sweats. And so for me, when I knew, you know, was struggling with my skin a couple of years ago and looking for new skincare, I was like, this is my soulmate skincare because it's something that is solving a problem that I have. And it applies to a specific person, a woman who works out. Like, hey, that's me. And so I was like, bye. You know what I mean? And so, you know, you want to become known as that person who helps those people. And then that unlocks powerful word of mouth. Suddenly, anyone who knows somebody like that, they're going to point them to you. Again, this is not like a full-on niche training because I want to make sure I leave enough time for like, you know, more. But if you want to dive deeper into this, this is something that I've done kind of over the last year. Find Your Tribe. It's a free ebook that is in your back office. So just log into your coach office, download it, and you can read it like tonight if you want to. It's like 10 pages long. It's fantastic. Another book that I just read is so good. It's called Niche Down: How to Become Legendary by Being Different. I believe, I don't think they're the same author, but I feel like they might be because their content was super similar. In the new coach mentorship that we had as a team on Thinkific, maybe Caroline can share the link to that. I did a training on niche in there that's free. So all you have to do is log into it and watch it. And then I also have resources in the like connected to that training that have like a free YouTube video on niche that Holly Hillier did. And I have like some documents in there that kind of will help you get your wheels turning on maybe what you want your niche to be, like kind of some questions that you can ask yourself. Like, for example, when I was kind of thinking through this, it's like, what do people come to you for? Like everybody that's like having like I've kind of become known because I have been through this myself, and this is kind of my journey. I've been on a hormone healing journey as someone who has been diagnosed with a hormone, you know, condition. Now people are like, so and so told me I should reach out to you because I'm struggling with this. And so it's like questions to ask. Like I feel like, you know, I was one of my first friends to years ago learn about the fertility awareness method. Everybody asks me about it now because they know that that's something that I do. And so anyway, I was just kind of like my wheels were turning. I was like, within my kind of health, like the health and fitness industry, what is my niche? I knew like something that I was just having trouble with the share your journey part of what we do as coaches because I I'm just not super passionate about before and after pictures. I don't think they're wrong at all. It's just not me. It's not something, as somebody who has struggled with disordered eating in the past, like I do share that. Like I do share my results and I don't think it's wrong or bad. It's just like I was like I just can't connect with that. Like I don't know. And so just even within like the health niche, I was like, what is my thing? Like what kind of journey am I even on? And then it hit me, even though I had been a coach for, you know, a little while already, within kind of my health and fitness journey, specifically some like a problem that I have had, that I have, that I'm trying to work on, and that I feel like I can help with is pretty niche. It's like, you know, hormone health. And so I'm going to show you some examples in a little bit, but just kind of get your wheels turning. Like when we talk about sharing your journey, what is the journey that you're sharing? What is the problem that you have, that you either have now that you're working on? You don't have to have arrived, because you're always one step behind someone else, you know? And so there's things that you have done that have worked for you, that are working for you, that you're experimenting with. And so it's just sharing that. People love that. People like all the time I kind of get insecure because I'm not like an expert or anything, but I think people love just following somebody who's on a similar journey because it's like it's not that I'm the expert and I never claim to be. It's just like you want to know that what somebody is talking about is like I don't know, it's like a real person, you know what I mean? So anyway, some other resources. Lizzie Palios has been a guest on our team call before. On niche, she has a course. It's very affordable. Highly recommend. Abby Kappa also has a course. Hers, in my opinion, I don't think it's quite worth the money that it costs for the course. It's kind of price like I think it's overpriced. But and I don't know if this is great advice, but me and Caroline and Anna Bay, we went in on it together. And remember, like anything that you invest in for your business, it is an investment. But I do think it was helpful. And then Brock Johnson, he shares a lot of like tips on niche on his Instagram, and then also inside the Instagram Club Hub. I joined for free and then I canceled it just to watch the niche trainings in there because they are very helpful. So if you want to, do some more digging and kind of like learn how to find your niche, these are some resources that I would go to kind of get the ball rolling there. And then once you kind of like have a niche, for me, it's been helpful because niching down helps simplify your content strategy. I don't know if you ever get overwhelmed, like paralysis by analysis. You go to plan your content for the week and you're like, there's so many things I could share about health, fitness, faith, life, like all these things. And then you're like, I don't even know what I'm going to share. And so having a niche, it really does help simplify your content strategy because what you want to do is you want to think of problems that your ideal niche follower or customer has. So for me, it's a mom who has recently had a baby who is kind of struggling to get back into balance because that was me. And so I'm trying to connect with her, and my niche is teaching moms with little kids at home, maybe who have recently had a baby, how to work out in a way that supports hormone balance. Because I've been there and that's the journey that I'm on. And so that ideal person, like what is a problem that she would have? She wants to work out. She wants to support her hormones. She wants to work out in a way that supports her hormones, but she doesn't even know like what are the phases of the cycle. She doesn't know what phase she's even in, and what workouts. Once I figure out what phase I'm in, like what workouts do I even do, because I want to make sure that what I'm doing is supporting this journey, supporting my hormones. And so with my content, I am solving those problems. So I'm educating what are the phases of the cycle. I'm educating on like how to figure out what phase you're in. I'm talking about, fertility awareness methods and tracking your ovulation and all those things. And then I'm sharing workout ideas, and then I'm connecting it to what I offer as a coach. If you want to dive deeper, like, here's some workout ideas for this phase of your cycle, but if you need actual workouts, like I got you. And so your content will help solve a problem for somebody, when that's what people are on Instagram for right now. They have problems, and maybe their problem is that they want to be entertained. Like that can be your niche if that's your personality. And that, they just want to laugh at the end of a mom day. So you have to think outside the box. But people have problems and they want you to solve them. And that's why they're on Instagram. And so you want your content to solve someone's problems, connect you with your ideal person because you're educating her, maybe you're entertaining her, really just creating something that connects. You're inspiring her, and then encouraging her as well because you know what it's like. And then faith is kind of like our flavor, right? So you're kind of seasoning your content with faith-based flair. So like when I create, a faith kind of inspired content, I'm encouraging one specific girl and using, faith-based encouragement like scripture. Does that make sense? So it's not like this generic, just because we're faith and fitness coaches, it's not like this generic Bible verse that I hope will inspire someone, which that's not bad because the word of God is always relevant and people need it. But if you can get specific about who you're sharing this encouragement with, it's like for me, in this realm of like hormone health, it can be very overwhelming. And so I want to encourage, you know, my girl to keep her eyes on Jesus and keep her eyes on eternity, because, you know, you can't create heaven on earth, right? It's like things aren't perfect here. And so it's just another reminder that, you know, things are broken because of sin, but that we have hope because one day our bodies are going to be made whole again. Like if you have this diagnosis like I do, I understand that it's discouraging, but remember, like we have hope because one day we're going to get a new body. And so just like sharing, you know, our mission as a team is to point women to Christ. And so sharing that within your niche, like imagine how many people we could reach with gospel encouragement in the industry of health and fitness, but with different niches, like we're reaching different people. Okay, so next is once you have your niche, then you're going to want to create like a specific and a unique offer using tools from our product library that helps solve your niche problem. Okay. And I know this is like pretty heady, but one thing that I noticed like I've been doing a deep dive in this, I've been studying and I'm like studying coaches that are having success. And I've noticed two things. Again, they have a niche and they have a specific offer. Like it's like for that specific person. So this kind of requires some product knowledge. It might take some time for you to kind of find your thing. And that's why we always recommend that you're trying new things, you're trying new programs, you're trying new products, you're trying new flavors. It is okay if you don't have this all figured out. It just takes some trial and error and you'll get there. But experiment until you find something that you love. And then you're creating an offer that makes sense for the problem that you're solving for your person. So you're using word choice that makes sense for them. And that's how you're connecting, you know, your offer to your niche. So instead of saying like, you know, I'll get you started with nutrition. Well, what does that even mean? I'm going to connect you with my weight loss nutrition plan. If that's your niche, does that make sense? So you can see how if there's like a postpartum mom who is struggling to lose, you know, those last, let's say this is super niche. I help postpartum moms who want to lose those last 10 pounds of baby weight. Like that's super niche, but she's out there. And so you're going to connect what you offer with that niche by saying, this is my weight loss shake that I drink every single day. And you know that it helps with weight loss because it has protein in it, it has fiber, and those things keep you full so that you don't have cravings. And you know that because you've done your research. The way that you're wording it is like making sense for your person. So yes, it's Shakeology. So like you could be saying, you know, this is my shake that has helped me lose 30 pounds or whatever. But whereas I'm saying this is my hormone loving superfood protein shake or whatever, because I know that it has ingredients in it that are super good for your hormones. It has maca in it, which is helpful for boosting libido. It has ashwagandha in it, which is helpful for calming your body's stress response. And I know because I've done my research and I've done my digging that the root cause of hormone issues is stress. So I'm talking about my shake like that because that's going to make sense for my person, because chances are I'm kind of speaking to myself like, you know, a protein shake, having protein with every meal and snack is helpful if you struggle with hormones, but also ingredients like maca and ashwagandha are helpful, but you don't want to buy all three of those things. Why don't you just buy it all in one shake? You know what I'm saying? And so that's why Shakeology is amazing. And that's why my superfoods are amazing. And that's why I offer it as like my main offer when I'm helping somebody get started. So again, this might require some creativity. It might require you to think outside the box, but just, yeah, you'll get there. And so again, another example, like educating your niche on like why are you doing this strength training program in a way that makes sense for you, my person. So the reason why postpartum I focused on strength training is because I know that when you build muscle, it's helpful for hormone balance, because I know that because I've done research. And so that's why I'm talking about it to my person. Like you've got to strength train if you want to strength train, if you want to support your hormones with your workouts, you've got to strength train. And if you need a plan, I got you. But the same program could apply to your niche too. It's the same thing that we're offering. It's different though, because why would strength training matter for somebody who's trying to lose weight? Well, when you have more muscle, you burn more calories when you're just sitting there doing nothing. And that will help you lose weight. And so you have to like kind of dig deep and kind of figure out what will connect with your person to make her be like, oh, like I want to strength train, So this is how you kind of grow in connecting what we offer in our product library to your niche to create more conversion, to create more sales, to make it make sense. Continued, my suggestion is to start with one. Start with one thing that you offer. And I know that this is really hard. It's something that I'm still working on myself, but it's like one thing. If you're going to get somebody started today, what are they going to get started with? Again, I've done some research, and what I've found is that successful coaches, they're known for a problem that they have, that they've solved, or that they are working on themselves. And then they have one specific offer that's going to help somebody else that's like them. And so there's no more just doing things and just sharing your journey and throwing it out there in hopes that someone out there will join you. We need to be a little bit more laser focused on what it is that you offer and how is this going to help your person solve her problems. Because that is why she's going to buy, not just because she feels inspired that you work out and she wants to do that too. So when you confuse people, you lose them. I feel that way. It's like, gosh, I feel so overwhelmed by everything that we offer. It's like we're constantly having launches and stuff. And that's good because, again, when 2B Mindset launched, if you wouldn't have ever tried that, maybe you wouldn't have never figured out that that is your soulmate thing that works for you and that you're going to offer. And so, again, I kind of wrote this like, if you're always kind of like offering a million different things, or if you feel overwhelmed yourself by what you're offering, like, how do I even talk about this? Then you'll lose your confidence that what you have can even truly help somebody, and it can, but you just kind of like your light dims a little bit because you feel overwhelmed yourself. So it's the difference between saying, you can get somebody's like, okay, I want some more information. And you're like, well, you can get this package or this one or this one. This one is a little bit more, but if you add on body, it's going to add this much. And then if you also want to do this, you can also do this. If you have gut health problems, you can add this on. And it's like, okay. Or you can say, I know what your problem is, and here's what I offer that's going to help you with that. I feel confident it will if you do it. And this is how much it costs, rather than just offering like the lowest price thing, like, oh, well, you can get a 3-month bod because that's the cheapest, which is great. We want to meet people where they're at, but it raises your confidence knowing, like, for example, I was just talking about Abby Kappa's niche course. It is like, I forget how much it costs. I'm like, that is her one offer. And it's like, you buy that, right? I'm like, I don't think it's worth that, in my opinion. But it's like there's one thing that costs this much. And so if you have this problem, then you're going to buy it. You know what I mean? And so once you figure out what it is that you offer, you talk about it over and over. And then your person knows that when she's ready to get help with her problem, she's sick of trying to solve it on her own. She knows exactly who she's coming to and exactly what she's signing up for and exactly how much it's going to cost, because you talk about it all the time. So here's some examples. I'm a super practical person, and I wanted this to kind of be more like a workshop style part of kind of this call. So if you want, you can get your phone out and look up these people and then save them to a collection called Niche Examples. I have one on my Instagram. If I find somebody that's niche, I save them to that collection in case I ever want to kind of do some studying, like, who is this person? What are they offering? And it just kind of helps, because I'm going to kind of go rapid fire through these things, but I think it would be really beneficial if you open your Instagram, look these people up, save them, so that way you can go back maybe for your personal development this week and kind of look and see, get inspired, like not to copy them, but just to kind of be like, oh, like this is what Kirby was talking about. She has a niche, she has one specific offer that connects to, being a Beachbody coach. So, for example, this is one of my favorites, Katie Moore. You probably all know her. She's incredible. She's one of the top coaches in the network right now. And she has grown her Instagram following by a lot because she's super niche. So her niche is nutrition for busy moms who want to stop counting calories and finally lose the weight. And so she's speaking to one person because that was her. But also, it's like if somebody is out there that sees that, she's like, oh gosh, like that's me. Like, I'm a busy mom. I've been counting calories and I just can't lose the weight. Or maybe she has a little bit, but then she gains it back. And so she's like, I want to finally lose the weight. Like, like lose it for good. And so one thing I noticed about Katie that I've just been like studying her is that, and I talked to her and I ask her questions. She has one offer. Like she is so streamlined and so simple. Like she has like one form in her link tree that's like join my accountability group for your weight loss journey. She gets people started with a 2B mindset challenge pack. And she's like, when you're ready to add in workouts, you can. So yeah, she does the workouts. She shares everything on her stories. She talks about, you know, her protein shake that she drinks every day. But her one thing, like every single person gets started with a 2B mindset package. And that's what they're doing in her group. And then she does do other things, but she's really just talking about this every day, over and over. Like, this is my thing. This is my sensible weight loss nutrition program that you won't have to count calories for, and it's going to help you finally lose the weight. And so I asked her, like, I've been talking to her, like, I love your niche. Like, I love how you've done this. How not only like is she successful in getting people started on their health journey, but like she has an incredible team of coaches. And I asked her, like, where has your team come from? And she said it has pretty much her whole team has come from customers, because it just feel, you know, it's just like an authentic kind of like growth. It's like they came into our community, they saw results, and they became coaches. And so when you niche down, it's like you are going to grow your team because you are helping more people get started, you're helping more people solve a problem, you're helping more people get results, and therefore they're going to want to become a coach so that they can tell other people about this thing that has helped solve their problem. And so I think that's really great about Katie. Again, here's another example. Holly Hillier, she's a top coach. I've seen her change her niche several times. And so this is a great example that you don't have to stick with one thing, like you're not boxed in. And so look at her niche right now. 21-day carb cycling plans to bust through your weight loss plateau. So somebody that comes across her profile, it's specific. She's like, 21 days, I can do that. Carb cycling, I'm not really sure what that is, but I am at a weight loss plateau. So her person is already on a weight loss journey. Maybe they've seen some weight loss, but they've plateaued and now they're so frustrated. And that's their problem. And so she's like, I can fix that problem for you if you join my, you know, fit club. And so what they're doing in there, she's helping them get started with Portion Fix, the carb cycling rail, and then obviously doing the workouts and stuff. But like, this is the specific thing she's talking about. This is what she's offering right now. And this is how she's getting people started with what we have to offer. This is not a Beachbody coach. She's actually a faster way to fat loss person, which is not something that I like, but I think her niche is great. So she talks about, I'm helping women. It's nutrition and workouts for women over 35 who want to feel energized, strong, and healthy. So if you're over 35 and you want to feel energized, strong, and healthy, if your problem is that you feel tired, not strong, and not very healthy, and you're over 35 and you're a woman and you need some nutrition and workouts, you're like, oh, maybe I should join her group. And so that's the only thing she ever talks about. She has one offer. It's these groups, these faster way groups. They start, you know, however often. But if you have this problem, if you're over 35 and you want to feel energized, strong, and healthy, people know, like, oh, I need to join her group because that's all she talks about. Allie Upham, I don't know who this is, but I think her niche is great. So her niche is that she gives you tools to rebuild your core for women who have diastasis recti or who have had an ab surgery after having a baby. Like, how niche is that? She has 35,000 followers. So clearly this is a problem that women have. It's not like you're like, I promise you, if you niche down and you think of something specific, there are women out there that also that have this problem, I promise. And so this seems super niche. Like, she's probably second guessed herself, like, maybe I'm the only one that has had ab surgery. Like, I feel alone. I don't know if anybody's gonna want to, you know, do this with me. But she's built an amazing business because she connects with women who have struggled with this. And so she's talking about, you know, eating anti-inflammatory. What is that? It's gut protocol. But she's saying that in a way that's like, after you have ab surgery or after you know, if you're struggling with ab separation, you want to make sure you're eating anti-inflammatory. And then what does she do? She connects people with a gut protocol nutrition program. And then, you know, they're doing the gut protocol nutrition together. They're doing a bod workout program, but she also offers like different modifications for your core because she's helping a specific person. So the people that come to her have, you know, ab separation. And so those are her people. And I think that's awesome. Another niche, Natasha Pearson, she's one of the top coaches in Beachbody right now. Her niche is weight loss for moms who want to love their postpartum body. And so her offer is a body confidence club. And what they're doing is the TV mindset, and then I think workouts. And so that's what she talks about. My body confidence club. This is, you know, what we're going to do. And I'm going to help you. I'm going to help you lose weight because I have. Brittany, I don't know her last name, but I think her offer could be a little bit better. If I were like her coach, I'd be like, you need to get a little bit more specific, but her niche is great. So her niche is like a happier life for working moms who don't want to give up wine to be healthy. It's pretty niche because she's a dentist, she's a working mom. And so she's, you know, offering her accountability groups for working moms who want to be happier and healthier without giving up wine. So they're like doing portion picks and they're doing, you know, workouts.
I just rolled
Sorry, this is like so many examples, but I'm a super practical person. So Brooke, however you say your name, weight loss for women over 200 pounds who still want to eat dessert every day. So it's like she's helping somebody who's over 200 pounds who wants to lose weight, but doesn't want to be restrictive and give up dessert. That's a specific person. And so she's offering, I know this is kind of lame and probably annoying to her, but like I'm like, what does she offer? And I go to her link tree. I like applied for her fit club. I just wanted to see what it is. Like, what is it that she's offering? And so she has a free Facebook community and she has a fit club where they're doing To Be Mindset. And again, I think her offer could be a little bit more specific, but I think her niche is great. Julie Kemp, we all know her, we love her. Her niche is simple fitness and macros. And so she talks over and over. If you follow her, I don't follow her like super closely, but every once and again I will. And she's always talking about this. A strength training plan, and accountability and simple like balancing out her macros were the game changer for her. She has a heavy focus on results. She shares a lot of like her body, her before and after, and she attracts a lot of women who have a problem. They're running a lot. They're doing a lot of cardio because they want to, change their body or whatever, and they're eating healthy, but they're not seeing results because that was her. And so she talks about that, and that's the problem that she solves for women who are kind of already on a fitness journey. Like they already know what macros are. They already are working out. Probably they're probably doing a ton of cardio. And so she talks about, what was the game changer for me? I stopped doing so much cardio. I started lifting weights. I got a plan. I got accountability. I balanced my macros. And people are like, oh, what do you use to balance your macros? She's like, I do portion fix. And so her groups she has specific offer. She has groups. They have a start date. They're doing strength training and they're doing portion fix. They're doing macros. Portion fix is macros. And then I think this is my last example, but Katie Fassett, we all love her. Okay. She was on our team call recently too. And I know we don't have a lot of time left. I'm sorry, this is going long, but her niche is simple at-home workouts and nutrition for moms of littles. But she is super niche because she really is attracting a specific person. Like with her content, she's using her content to attract the kind of mom she wants to work with to solve a problem. And even more niche about her is she does talk about weight loss, like postpartum weight loss. That's kind of the journey that she's sharing. And then she offers accountability groups that start every month, and she's sharing her results, and she's talking to a specific person, like a mom that is kind of like her. She is super niche. Like she's a little bit quirky, like a mom that's kind of like weird like her. And she's like, I want other moms that like are just like don't feel like they're like the typical mom, like that are just kind of weird and quirky. And so she attracts a lot of people like that. And so she's finding her people are joining her, and she's having an incredible success right now. A last one, I swear, Brittany Kovacs. I've seen her change her niche too a lot. But right now, what she's kind of talking a lot about is empowerment for mamas in birth, breastfeeding, faith, fitness. I feel like that is kind of like broad, but I think a really creative niche would be like, helping, I guess, moms kind of train for a home birth or something, because that's what she's doing right now. And that's kind of what she's talking about. Like she's doing these workouts to like help her get prepared for this home birth that she's about to have. And so she's connecting with specific women that are kind of like crunchy, that want to kind of go against the grain, that want to have a baby at home and like want to breastfeed. And so she's sharing that and like sharing content about that and like connecting with moms that are like, yes, I am your person. So this is my last slide, I swear. But one thing I was talking to a couple coaches about the other day is something that can be really helpful too about finding a niche to like really love your business and really brand yourself is to kind of like diversify your income a little bit, like kind of put your eggs in a few different baskets. And I was actually just looking at Kelsey Hill. I don't really ever look at her stuff, but I was just looking at her stories and she was talking about how she's an affiliate with Body, like the workouts that she's an affiliate with. And so that's really what we are kind of like as coaches, like we're affiliated with a company, with a brand. And, you know, we earn a commission from, you know, when you do what I'm doing because I'm suggesting it to you to help you with your problems. As like that's kind of what it is. And so we know that, you know, to really grow your income, you want to grow your team, and that's what we're working towards, right? But in the meantime, it's like we don't fully have control over that. And so if you want to kind of like diversify your income a little bit, if you want to kind of, you know, maybe make a little bit of extra money, it's really fun when you have a niche because maybe you can partner with a couple of companies that make sense for your niche that can help you boost, you know, your income while you are kind of waiting for and working towards, not waiting for, but you know what I mean? Like you're waiting for your income to grow with this as your team is growing. Does that make sense? So this is not something that you have to do, but it's something that's been fun for me. My main income still comes from being a Beachbody coach and having a diamond business, but I do make a couple extra, like a couple hundred a month with just affiliate other partnerships. My caution would be, you know, if you're not having time to work your Beachbody business, don't spend time on other things. But if you do feel like you want to do that, I think it can be really great way to feel like, you know, that your business is bringing in a little bit of extra, you know, income as you're working on, you know, growing. And so again, when you're the go-to for the specific niche that you own, people trust you, which can kind of lead to more sales, potential customers, and then eventually those customers who love it, they're like, my problem is solved, and now I want to become coach. And so that's just a really organic way to find coaches and grow your team if you're frustrated in that area. I can share some, I know we're going long and I don't want to, but if you want to, I can share some tips for kind of tips on how, you know, once you're like kind of finding your niche, how to kind of maybe attract brands that you want to be affiliated with. But at the end of the day, niche down, love what you do, love what you're sharing, enjoy connecting, invite authentically because you know that what you're offering can genuinely help her, your person with her problem that will change her life. I know that's kind of like, you know, an overstatement maybe, but seriously. And that's, you know, for me, that is kind of what I found is that I haven't fully figured it out yet. I don't have all the answers, but for me, it's like my inbox is always full because women are saying, like coming to me with their problems and I'm not there to solve them. I'm not a doctor and I'm not like going to tell them what they need to do, but I understand. And so it's like, well, tell me, it like leads to those questions like, well, I'm so sorry that you're struggling with this too. Like, you know, I just had a baby too, and I feel like my mood is all over the place. My hormones are going crazy. I'm like, girl, I've been there. I understand. Tell me what you're doing for nutrition. Tell me what are you doing for workouts right now? Well, I eat healthy and try to work out. I'm like, well, what are you doing? And so I can kind of like get there. I can kind of like dig deeper, and I'm like, well, you know, while you're waiting to work with your doctor on these specific issues, like, why don't we get started with like nutrition and fitness because that is a really great foundation. That's something that has helped me, you know what I mean? And it's like getting to a place where I can ask that question, like connecting with someone, like, thank you for following me, you know, where are you from? And blah, blah, blah. And then I'm like, are you also on a hormone health journey? And then she's like, yeah, girl, like this is, and then she like sends me a novel that happens to me every day. And then it's a great way to just like connect with someone, like to hear them, to listen, and to see if what I'm offering can help her or not. And if not, that's fine. I'm sure, you know, maybe something that I share would be helpful, a tip or something, but it kind of, you know, truly connecting is really the goal. So hopefully that's helpful.
I love this, Kirby. I literally took like 3 pages of notes, and it's so funny because I've done a lot of digging on niche and obviously like learned a lot through courses we've done together and calls and things like that. But You know, when you just need like a refresh and you're like, oh man, yeah, I really need to go back to that. That was what tonight's call really was for me. Is like, especially because I feel like I haven't focused on it much since before having Josie. So it was kind of like this is why I'm feeling frustrated because I'm like not focusing on my niche, you know? And so, anyways, so many takeaways. Do you care if we do questions for just like maybe 10 minutes?
Yeah, if y'all have time, I'm sorry. When I was creating this, I was like, this isn't gonna take very long. And then
No,
I'm
this
like,
was
oh gosh, this
incredible.
went so long. I'm so sorry.
No, and
But yeah, I would love that.
I love how you had like examples and that kind of thing. Like I just thought Lauren texted me and was like, this is amazing. But anyway, so this has been so, so good. I'm gonna ask a question and then I'm gonna let people unmute themselves or they can ask it in the chat.
Yeah, if you want to do like some live coaching, like if you have some
Yeah,
ideas, maybe
if you may,
bounce them
yeah.
off.
So I have struggled over the past, and I've told you this a little bit. My Instagram has really frustrated me over the past few months, mainly because really like the past 2 years, essentially, I grew my account a lot in the beginning. And I think a lot of it was because, like you said, like I was very niched down. Especially for at the time, like there was so many
Yeah.
Beachbody coaches who were just like sharing their story and they're just, it was more inspiring. And when I started Fit for His Glory, it was very niche. And so I'm kind of in this sticky spot. And I've talked to you about this before because I've taken long extended breaks from Instagram. Like I've contacted Instagram numerous times, but essentially like, I don't know if I'm like shadow banned or what, but like I cannot get past 22.5. And like, even like with my followers, like when you dive into my insights, it's like you've gained 250 followers, you've lost 250 followers. Like it's always the same exact number. It's so weird. And so I'm like, okay, I'm a shadow ban because I talk about Jesus, but who knows? Anyways, I'm trying not to get focused on that and just be like, you know, I'm just going to serve the people that I have. And literally that's kind of been my motto the past 2 years. It's like, just serve the people I have. I can't really do anything about it. So I'm just going to do the best I can. But long story short, I've kind of struggled because I feel like my niche has changed and evolved, but yet my Instagram name hasn't. And I know that it's probably not a big deal to people, but it bothers me. So like if I feel like, you know, I was really faith and fitness heavy and I still am, but maybe like it's more of a flavor than it is right now in this season. It might be more focused on, like you said, postpartum weight loss or, you know, that kind of thing. I struggle with like, well, should I change my name to like, is that confusing for people if they're coming there thinking they're going to just get generic faith and fitness content, but then it's a little more niche down and specific than that? Or does that even matter? And I'm just getting in my head about it. And Satan's just trying to keep me from like doing what I'm supposed to do because I'm so worried about the name.
No, I think no, I love your name. I think you should keep it because it's your brand. Like it's what you connect everything back to. But I think Holly Hillier was a good example of this. Like she's been around for a long time, but she is trying to, you know, get to the next level, I guess. I don't know. And so she went super niche recently. She's like, I offer 21-day carb cycling plans for somebody who is in a weight loss plateau. And so for you, maybe it's like, okay, Fit for His Glory, maybe, and it is confusing too, because like, there's like an Instagram niche if you're trying to grow your Instagram, and then there's like niche like with what your business. Does that make sense? So it's like it is kind of confusing, and there is a way to kind of, it's like Katie Fassett. Okay, her Instagram niche for like growing her followers and like finding her people is like she shares funny mom stuff. But her niche, like with her business, is that she's offering like simple fitness and nutrition for, you know, moms with littles at home. And so it's like you can have both. It's like if you want your Instagram niche to remain Fit for His Glory, like maybe you get a little bit specific. Like I'm going to encourage the mom who's on a weight loss journey with like faith, like with a faith flavor. Does that make sense? Like maybe get a little bit more specific with, you know, kind of the person you're talking to. And, you know, then she's going to get encouraged and inspired by your content and then be like, oh yeah, I'm on a weight loss journey, but like I need some guidance. Like can I join
Yeah.
your group? You know what I mean? Or she's going to see how you've lost 6 pounds recently. Like, I think I want to do that program because that's how she found you, because you're niched on Instagram. Does that make sense? So there's
Totally.
like
And I love
Instagram
that
niche
how it
and
can
there's
evolve
business niche.
too, because like, you know, like for people who are on a postpartum journey, like you might get, I don't want to say get back to where you were, get to that goal weight. And like, maybe you can do more of like, you know, intuitive eating or something like that. Like maybe certain seasons call for different things. But anyway, so I think it's good to know that you can like evolve. I honestly, I think it's just Satan sometimes. He's like trying to keep me from like doing what I'm called to do. Cause it's like we get so in our head about it, you know?
Yeah, I think it's because we can help everyone, and so then we're like, well, I should. But it can always evolve, you know, and that's what I think is good about it. Just like think about where you are right now and what journey you're on right now, and how you can share that in a way that is like, I'm helping someone else. And then with your content, you're like, I did an experiment yesterday. I posted a reel. You can go look. I was like, I want to connect with a specific person. And so I shared, you know, this reel talking about, you know, when you drop hundreds of dollars on blood testing because you suspect something's up with your hormones after having a baby, and then your results come back and they're like, they're normal. That a specific person is going to relate to that, because that happened to me. And so a ton of people were commenting like, girl, me too, like that happened to me. And so that's my person, you know? And so when you're creating content, you want to focus on like, you know, educating a mom who just had a baby on, here are some tips for how are you going to lose weight postpartum, and then like inspiring her and encouraging her in her faith. Like, remember, God looks at the heart, you know, things like that, that is encouraging somebody in their faith, but for a specific person. And so I think that that's how, as a team, you know, we can be a light in the health and fitness industry, because we're each so unique and different. And so we can encourage so many different niches.
Absolutely. I love that.
Yeah,
Thank
so
you.
I don't, it's definitely not like it is, I think if you go and read that book that's in your back office, that'll be a good place to start for everybody if you're like wanting to find your niche. But that's what they talk about. It's like it requires courage to niche down, but when you do, and when you find your thing, like it can really be what is the game changer.
Yeah. Well, and I think too, like for me, and I mean, all of us, obviously, anytime we're talking about our faith, we just always like, I'm always just like, I don't want to lead someone astray. Like, that's my biggest fear in life. You know what I mean? Is like, I want to be careful with like, I don't want to say, oh, fit for his glory, faith and fitness, that the way I do it is the way that everyone needs to do it. It doesn't make sense. And I try to talk about that a lot on my
Yeah.
stories. But that's why, like, I think sometimes I struggle with niching down because, and I think it's different again when it's like it's your name. Like if it's your personal name, like that feels more like you and your story. But for me, I think it's because with having Fit for His Glory, I just feel a lot of weight of that sometimes, of like, I just take that really seriously because I feel like it really is, it's in the name. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
like, so I think that's where I'm constantly checking my heart, which is a good thing, you know? So
Yeah, no, I think that's good. And like I said, I mean, your niche, your Instagram niche is what attracted me, because I wanted to learn how to be fit for the glory of God instead of for myself, because I was struggling with vanity, like working out every day obsessively because I cared so much about what I look like, but I wanted to honor the Lord. I just didn't know what that looked like. And so but then like the reason I joined you is because your offer was solving a problem that I had years later as a mom. You know what I'm saying? And so it's like just kind of figuring out, what are you good at? Like, what do people come to you for? What do you inspire people with? How can you help people? And then connecting and offer. Like, I think you did a great job with own your morning boot camp. Like, I think that would be great, you know? And like just let that be what you offer over and over and over. And
so
you're inspiring people.
if someone doesn't have another question right this second, Kirby, like what would be the advice you give everybody on their team as we have Sure Thing coming out? Like how would they connect that with their niche in terms of like kind of what's your game plan? I think that'd be cool for them to hear.
Yeah, so something that I'm personally working on is figuring out what it is that I offer. and like how am I going to streamline that a little bit to make sure I'm getting people results and helping them get started, you know. And so that's why I'm excited about Sure Thing. And really ever since they launched Body, I feel like that's kind of become my thing. That's kind of the thing that I do, that I love, that I kind of talk about. But I'm excited about the Shake and Hustle packs as well, because I feel like that's kind of what I've always wanted to offer, but I've always kind of, people are like, usually my girls, if they're signing up, they're like, should I get the Energize one or the Shakeology one? I'm like, Shakeology, but add Energize, and then it's like more money, and then they're like, I'm confusing them, and then I lose them, and then they never complete their share cart. And so I'm excited for the Shake and Hustle pack, because I think that's going to be my thing. That's going to be what I offer every single person. Like, if you're going to join my fit club, this is how you get started. This is how much it costs. This, I'm going to get you started with on day 1 of your cycle with a 3-week program. The 4 weeks is going to be off, because that's my niche and that's the person I'm attracting, and that's how I want to help her. And so that's what I'm gonna do. That's what Sure Thing is. It's 3 weeks on, 1 week off. And so, you know, if they just want to do bod, I'll do like a 3-week type program, probably Sure Thing or whatever. But then highly suggest that they get Body as well, because I think it's a game changer for me, for my niche. So, yeah.
And I think that for me, I just want to share this example too. Like, it could be with Sure Thing, like it takes 3 weeks to build a habit, you know? So if you're a mom who wants to go from survival mode to thriving, and you need to build those healthy habits and consistent habits in your life, having a program that's 5 days a week, not super long workouts that you can do from home, you know, and like in 3 weeks build those habits, you know, 21 days, and then you have a week off to rest and get ready for another round, you know, because that's kind of how Sure Thing works. And then obviously, like you said, like meshing in like the cardio, the strength training, and, you know, just muscle growth, and all the things are going to happen over those weeks. So I think
Yeah.
that that's where you were saying earlier, like that your wording just really plays into.
Yeah, you have to figure out who it is that you're talking to. And then, like, I saw this example the other day with like this business account that I follow. She was talking about like, okay, if you sell, you know, this makeup compact that you're talking about, well, you can do your makeup in 5 minutes with this thing. She's like, why would that matter to your person? So if you're talking to like, if your person is like a young mom, this matters because all you have to do, or all you need, is 5 minutes in the morning to do your makeup, so that you feel confident before your kids wake up in the morning, so that when you greet them, you're greeting them with a smile, and they're seeing your radiance because you feel confident in yourself. You're going to greet your children, they're going to feel loved. It's called the lipstick effect. She was talking about when you know, wear lipstick, and when you wear makeup, it makes you more likely to like be friendly. So not only are you going to greet your kids when you wake up, they're going to feel like, you know, they have a confident mom. You're going to smile at the person, you know, at the school drop off. You're going to smile at the secretary at the front desk, and that's going to make them, you know, feel loved or whatever. And so she's like, it's not that you offer makeup that takes 5 minutes. Cool. Well, why would that matter for your person? And so you have to kind of like dig deep and get creative and think about why this would matter for her and how this would help solve a problem that she has. Like, maybe she's not feeling very confident. Maybe she's dropping her kids off to school in sweats and, you know, just kind of hiding behind her tinted windows, when if she actually felt confident with the makeup that she was wearing, maybe she would actually get out. Maybe she would actually smile at, you know, the person that's holding the gate open for her kid to walk in school, and then she'll get to know that person, and then she'll have a better day. Whatever. So
I have a quick question, Kirby. So I have like been trying to figure out what my niche really is, and I've kind of like narrowed down, but I have trouble with like certain people, like with what my niche really is, wanting like the health and fitness aspect of it. Like, I reach out and inspire people for other aspects like of my journey. But the health and fitness stuff is not always there. So how long should you like try your specific niche before trying to like zero it in on something a little bit more specific or more broad? Like, how do you know when it's time to kind of shake it up a bit?
I would say give it about 90 days. and then kind of reevaluate, like, is this working for me? Am I still loving it? Like, am I having results with it? I think a great niche for you, like, what about is like something about teachers and like, well, you tell me, what is the health journey that you're on? Like, what are you trying to accomplish right now? Or what have you accomplished?
Well, so for me specific, it's a little bit different just because I struggle like with lymphedema, and that's a weight loss struggle itself. But a lot of people that I've known and have actually met like with the same kind of, you know, thing that I've got going on, is that they don't necessarily want to lose weight, that they're trying to like bring more awareness to it rather than the fact that like I show that like I don't let anything hold me back. Like I still modify it in different ways to fit like my body type, because it's always going to be different like than everybody else.
Yeah. Well, maybe that you can make that your niche. I swear there's others out there that are like that too, and that are sitting
Yeah.
behind their phone wondering, am I alone? Is there anybody out there that's like me? So maybe you can say, I encourage moms with lymphedema to move their bodies so that you can have energy to play with your kids after you get home from work. Something like that.
Yeah, no,
So,
absolutely. That's kind of where I've zeroed in. And like I haven't given it 90 days yet, just because I've really started within the last few weeks. But I just didn't know how long to give it before I like try to shake it up a little bit, and make sure like that's exactly where I needed to be focusing.
yeah, and you can always pivot, but just think about how you want to connect with, that person. You're sharing content that feels relatable. Like, you can use that real sound like how, first of all, first that Caroline used, I forget how it goes, but like, first of all, how dare you or whatever. Like
Yeah.
it could be like, when somebody comments,
I got
well,
people
maybe if
fired
you,
up.
yeah,
Girl, I have thought like I literally have it saved because I'm gonna use it. I saw yours and I'm like, I'm gonna use it. I just don't know how yet. So I've been trying to think for the past few days since I saw hers how to use that
yeah,
to
get in the
like
head
let
of
it
your person, like
yeah.
somebody else that has that same struggle. Like what is something that what get in their head, not so that you can, not just to be sassy, but to relate. Like, oh yeah,
Yeah.
I relate with that. Like people have told me, well, maybe if you just did this, then your condition would get better. And you're like,
Yeah.
it's not, you're not creating that to talk to the people that say that. You're creating it to talk to the other girl that also has lymphedema because she relates to that.
Yeah.
So
Perfect. Thank you.
I have a comment. I don't guess it's really a question as much as a comment. I think what I have struggled with trying to niche down is, and I've kind of felt this way my entire life, is like I'm a jack of all trades, but a master of
yeah,
none. And
same.
so trying to, yeah, but you've done so well, like really niching down with the hormone thing, but like how, well, I guess that's something you've like really struggled with, but I don't know. That's every time I start doing like a training for a niche, and I want to niche down so much because I know it would take so much off my plate of trying to come up with content because my head is just in a million different places when I think about trying to, have good content. It's like I'm passionate about, so I'm just a passionate person. Like if you come up with any subject, I could probably talk on it for hours because I have a
Mhm.
strong opinion about literally everything in life, which
Yeah.
is so like not helpful when it comes to niching down. I care about everything. So that's where I'm really struggling because I want to niche down so badly. And so that way I can really like just be like, okay, this is the one thing that I can mainly talk about. And it would be so helpful for me. But I just cannot, I don't know, every time I start doing a training or something, there's just so many things. And then I don't feel confident enough on any one thing to make that my entire content. Does that make sense?
Yeah, no, I'm definitely with you. I've thought about that a lot because I think it would be helpful if you go into your coach office and you read that book, the
Mhm.
body, the find your tribe, because they talk about different ideas. Like you could niche down on life season, you can niche down on community, like you can niche down on all this. And the cool thing is too, like again, when you're starting out, like most of us, like we're not huge influencers, any of us, but you can get to that point one day where you are talking about, like, you kind of have to earn the right to be able to talk about everything. You know what I'm saying? But when you're starting out, you want to really simplify. So I think for you, and maybe you're not passionate about this and you don't agree, but I thought about you when I was reading that because, I think you could connect with a specific person. Like maybe it's like, I help military mom, like, I don't know what the word choice would be, but like another military wife who's a mom who's at home who wants to lose weight after having a baby or something like that. And so you're like, because you've done that, you know what I mean, and you relate to
Yeah.
that, and so you're sharing content
I'm
to
just not like a
attract.
big military wife person. So like I always come back to that because it is such a big, but I'm not your classic military wife, like not in any shape, form, or fashion. So it's hard because I know that I could niche down with that, but like I don't even know if we're gonna stay in for the next few years.
You're like, I
so
don't
it's
really
like
want to. Yeah.
no. So I don't even like, I don't enjoy that. So yeah, that's because I see there are some great Beachbody coaches that are military wives, and that's a huge part of their niche is talking to other military wives. But once again, it's like one of those, like, I have experience and I can be passionate about that in some ways, but like that's not, I just feel like I have a lot of
Maybe it
little
could be
things.
like, I help moms stay consistent with their workout routine. Why,
Yeah.
even like during a move or while, because like you have had so much experience with that. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think a lot of moms with little kids who are moving are like so overwhelmed that they're like,
Sanity,
I'm
not
not gonna work
vanity.
out.
I love that
You know?
Caroline, for sanity, not vanity. That is very true. That is like, and yeah, it's hard because like that is a big thing for me. That is why I work out. Is I say it's cheaper than therapy. So it's like
Yeah, you
why
can
I
talk
feel
about
like I
maybe
have
moms who have
to.
anxiety or whatever. That's a niche
Yeah,
too.
and I do, but it's a struggle of mine of like talking and being open about that, without sounding like a victim, because I don't ever want to sound like, oh, I have anxiety. Like literally every single freaking millennial on the planet says that they have. But I have like been on Zoloft, and like I've been down that road, but working out and staying consistent is literally what like saves my brain and why. And another thing that I'm going on this rant, but another thing that I really am passionate about is like the way that I parent, and the reason I can parent the way that I parent and not like I was parented is because I work out, is because I have my own thing. I'm able to like go at parenting with a more patient, calm, perspective rather than like screaming and, how I was raised. So that's something that I'm passionate about, but that sets on a lot of toes. And so I don't ever want to come off like judgy of how other people parent, because that's just how I parent, but it's something I'm really passionate about, and like breaking
Yeah, well,
cycles.
don't worry about those other people because you're not
Yeah.
you're not trying to connect with them. If they're not your person, then they can leave. You're connecting
Yeah.
with your person, and your
Yeah.
person's gonna be your person, and she's gonna agree. And so maybe you can be like, helping moms who want to like you help moms with workouts and nutrition so that you can gentle parent better, because you know that when you have the energy and when you're like, a huge part of like lashing out at your kids for a lot of moms is just because you're you're not nourished well, and so you're like your nervous system is crazy. But when you are well, like you're healthy and you have energy, you can be more gentle with your child. And so that's just like a part of how you can specifically help somebody. And so you can share your story, breaking generational, helping moms, break those generational chains by taking care of yourself so that you can feel like, so that you can have patience to gentle parent your child or something. Like, that's super niche, but I bet you there's so many women out there that would want to do that.
Yeah, that's a good point.
I really
Now,
like
again,
that.
you do have to get specific, and again, you can always change it if you're like, man, it's not working, or like, I don't like it. So
let's go ahead and wrap up because I know a lot of people have to go. But Kirby, this was amazing. Carly had a really good idea of like maybe we schedule like I don't know if you'd be cool with it, but like a workshopping it call.
yeah, I think that would be helpful, because I think sometimes we're like, I'm not good at anything. That's how I am. I'm insecure, but it's like we can call out the gold in each other, and it's helpful, to get ideas.
Would y'all want to do that on like a random pop-up call during the week, or would y'all want to make that our call for next week so then we can kind of just say, hey, this is what we're going to be doing? I haven't scheduled all the calls, so
Yeah, it could be
pop-up
like a
or
live,
workshop?
coaching, a live workshop, something like that.
Yeah. Okay, I'll get with you, Kirby, and see what your schedule looks like.
Yeah, it's definitely not something I'm an expert on, but I know that I feel very confident that this is the thing that is going to be the catalyst to growth. I really do believe that. I think we just have to figure it out.
For sure. And obviously with the goal of helping more people, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, well, I want to pray for y'all's week and then we can hop off here. I'll let you guys know about like when we can workshop. But I think maybe just making it next Sunday night's call as long as Kirby's available. I'll chat with her. Heavenly Father God, thank you so much, Lord, for this incredible call tonight. Thank you for Kirby and just her knowledge around this topic, God, all the work she has put into trying to figure it out and just sharing all that with us tonight. It's such a blessing. Lord, I just want to pray over her business, over each and every one of these women. God, I just pray blessings over them. I pray that you would just give them vision as they head into their week, God, and as they brainstorm this, Lord, I just pray that you would direct our steps. You would fill us and sustain us this week, God. Lord, we love you so much. And ultimately, we want to do this all so that we can just point people back to you. And so, God, I just pray that you would give us vision in what that looks like. And it's in your precious name we pray. Amen. Love you, girls. Have an amazing day. Hey, Kirby, will you post that Canva to all the, because I like want to go back through the PowerPoint and like read everything again.
Yeah. One thing I will say is like now that you know this, when you're on Instagram, you're just like look for it. You're gonna be like, oh, like this person, they have a niche and they have an offer and it connects and like, oh, I get it. You know.
Love
So
that.
now you're gonna see it everywhere.
Thank you, Fran.
Yeah.